Hello everyone, welcome back to the Vinyl Brotherhood. We are here again with another music review. Today it's Starflyer 59, his latest album. I can't wait to discuss it with you, so get comfortable, maybe grab a nice drink, and we'll get started here momentarily. Good to be with you all again today. I hope everyone is doing well. Right around when we first started this channel, we reviewed an album by Starflyer 59 that was new at the time, and now we're back again with their latest, so it's looking like we have another repeat artist at the Vinyl Brotherhood. It delights me to know that Jason Martin is still going strong, and there seems to be no end in sight for Starflyer, which is great news for us because since the very early 90s, Jason Martin and his collaborators have consistently produced one solid album after another and have proved themselves to be a reliable source of very respectable rock music. I have full confidence that the latest album, Lust for Gold, will not be the exception to the rule, but I suppose we will know for certain by the end of today's review. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at Watch It Played, a channel here on YouTube. I was pleasantly surprised to see Watch It Played in the comments of our last Starflyer video back when we released it, and they actually popped in again recently to say hello. I was thrilled because I was already familiar with the channel. I actually learned how to play a couple of games from Ronnie's videos, so if you're interested in board games, you ought to check that channel out. We're doing a great thing over there, so I just wanted to say hi. But back to the task at hand, we need to review this album, the new Starflyer album, and yeah, let's go ahead and take this beautiful LP over to the record player and get things started, shall we? All right, we're gonna take a look at our album art. Kind of a bronze color. In a way, it is sort of a spiritual successor to Gold and Silver, his first two albums, but yeah, as minimal as one might come to expect. Lust for Gold, couple of details, music by Martin, 2024. It's the liner notes that I'm really interested in. It comes in this nice booklet. Check that out, how awesome is that? Got some fun illustrations in here. A lot of handwritten type, a couple of photos down there, along with like the credits, the liner notes. Really, really cool. Oh, and one more awesome thing, you're gonna want to check this out. The actual record itself. That's beautiful. Lovely emerald color. But anyway, for those of you who have yet to be initiated into the cult of Starflyer 59, I guess a TLDR would be that the band is a product of Jason Martin and his revolving door of musicians going back to '93. He was one of the first people signed to Tooth and Nail Records, a major player at the time in the world of Christian rock music. It doesn't seem like there are many major players in Christian rock these days, but Starflyer 59 remains 17 albums later. In those 30 years, Jason has explored different avenues of alternative and indie rock, including but not limited to new wave, post-punk, surf, dream pop, and no-nonsense bluesy rock and roll. But hop onto any comment section relating to the band, you'll quickly realize that the band is most associated with and beloved for the dense and impenetrable shoegaze of their early years. Ironically, it seems like, at least for the last couple of records, people would praise his latest work as being a return to the old sound. I think that was naturally going to happen, as traces of Jason's musical DNA can be found on anything he puts his name to. But on Lust for Gold, I think there is a clear, or at least a more clear musical connection to those early days. Mere seconds into the opening track titled 909, I was surprised to hear how unbridled the guitars were, with an explosive crunch and a blistering drone from the leads, not too unlike some of those silver and gold classics like Housewife Love Song. YZ80 and 1995 are blissfully melodic, as they should be, perfectly in step with Lust for Gold's nostalgic theme. It's in songs like these, or in the last moments of the 7-minute rock behemoth, No Sweat, that we can tell that these songs are truly from the heart. Those dreamy surf guitar leads can be felt, and there is an inescapable fervor behind those power chord tidal waves. Jason sounds super invested in the words that he's written, and now that his voice has become matured and seasoned with age, there is a deeper, lower quality to it that sounds devastating through the heavy reverb, as if it were Poseidon delivering these songs. There is a decent enough balance between the sweet versus savory songs, and history has shown us that Martin has mastered both. But if I were to nitpick, I'd say that he tends to default to a mid-tempo rhythm. Along with that, I think we've become very accustomed to the classic Starflyer 59 melody. The typical Starflyer song is working off of a winning formula in terms of melody, and I can't say that I've gotten tired of it, but I also don't think an extra push towards something radically different on the writing end of things would hurt either. However, as an improvement over Vanity, and even some of the older records, they have worked in enough twists and turns to subvert our expectations. And while we are operating with the standard, these are some of the more interesting songs that I've heard from Jason in a good while. For example, I think the intense rocker My Lungs is an obvious standout, and that extra tag I mentioned at the end of No Sweat is one of the most beautiful and surprising moments on Lust for Gold. It's up there with those sunny, dreamlike guitar passages from classic tunes like Second Space Song or Harmony from the Americana album, but the music isn't the only thing that harkens back to the good old days. On the lyric side of things, Martin finds himself constantly looking back and reminiscing. That's nothing new for Starflyer. Nostalgia has been a recurring theme for a while now, but isn't that true for us as people as well? It is for me at least. The album's lyrics are nothing if not relatable. You may find Jason's frustration with the mundanity of life to be a little too real at times, and only made worse when in contrast to his romanticized view of his own past. Over the course of the album, Jason thinks about his younger years in Riverside, California, his old dirt bike, hanging out with his brother and laughing to the point of tears. He sings that he never felt more alive than he did in 1995 when the future was open wide. Definitely sounds preferable to his current day with what he describes as years of trials or having to wrestle with Christianity becoming an increasingly lonely pursuit as his peers continue to go their separate ways. His work has always leaned into the melancholy, but I don't know that I've ever connected with his lyrical work quite this easily before. It really has been the right album at the right time for me. As far as production goes, I couldn't be more thrilled. This may be the aspect of the album that doesn't necessarily remind me of Starflyer circa 93. You can hear the expertise behind the controls this time around, the years of experience. I've heard it said before that you need to know the rules before you can break them to good effect. And on Lust for Gold, they are more than willing to color outside the lines a bit. The performances are spot on, but blistering guitar work produces some gnarly feedback on some cuts. The massive chords often overpower the vocal work, and reverb finds a way to bleed into anything and everything. It's a noise rock fan's dream come true. The low end on Jason's vocal work is really, really well done, as is the punch coming from the drums, which I believe are performed by his son nowadays. So basically, it's a great sounding album, and at 8 tracks, it easily achieves a cohesive feel. The creative choices feel intentional. Lust for Gold has a clear goal, and I think they achieved it quite successfully. And I do think, if I remember in my review for Vanity, the previous album, right over there, I remember saying that the album lacked enough of an identity to set it apart from some of his older albums, that he had settled into a sound. After all, consider his work from the 90s and early 2000s. Silver sounds nothing like The Fashion Focus, which sounds nothing like Leave Here a Stranger, which sounds nothing like Portuguese Blues. Lust for Gold is the first in a while that I think tells a really compelling musical story beginning to end. It's not just the last 8 songs that Jason wrote thrown together. And thank God it's not some cringy back to basics rehash that we see elsewhere on occasion, usually to disastrous results. What Lust for Gold actually is, what it aspires to be, is a genuine, bittersweet portrait of someone wishing to recapture the magic of his past. It's a great album. You can tell the songs were written and arranged by someone who loves music and knows what a rock album is supposed to sound like. As you can tell, I'm very pleased with it. And I do have a couple of closing thoughts to leave you with, so let's grab our LP and head on back. Here we are, friends. Another Starflyer album, another year of Starflyer 59 going by, underappreciated, but not on my watch. Truly an old faithful in alternative rock, and even when Jason and co aren't shooting for the stars, we can still count on them to deliver something highly listenable. But thankfully for us, I think with Lust for Gold, Jason has gone a bit beyond what I've come to expect from the last decade of Starflyer 59's music. Lust for Gold is a simple set of 8 songs, but they're masterfully executed. They support a greater concept, and as always, I love to catch that small glimpse of whatever's going on in Jason's world. So I will be giving Starflyer 59's Lust for Gold an 8 out of 10 today. I imagine fans of the band will eat this up, and as for everyone else, I'll just say that you really can't go wrong with this band, and Lust for Gold is an entry worthy of an already fantastic discography. So those have been my thoughts, and naturally, I'm on the edge of my seat wondering what our viewing audience thinks of this album. You know what to do. Head down to those comments down below and chime in. Agree or disagree, please let me know. And also, like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, and frankly, it would just be all too typical of the average Vinyl Brotherhood viewer to do such a thing. So with that, I will leave you, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. You better believe we'll be back with more very soon, but until then, have an amazing week. See you all soon, right here at the Vinyl Brotherhood. Cheers.